Hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another live stream. Very excited to get back on here with you guys today. How is everybody doing? Good morning, or good day from wherever you're from. Very excited to get another New York Open in with you guys. Morning, Flo. Good morning, Carson. Good morning, Hades. Good morning, Yared. Good morning, Mr. Reckless. Amazed. Tatiana, good morning. Vader Kyra, good morning. Hello, hello. How is everybody's week going so far? Good morning, Samsor. Good morning, Monir. Razvan, good morning. Good morning. Tony, what's up? Heather, good morning. Mike, good morning. Gaetano, good morning. How's everybody's week going so far? Morning, Darts. JJ. Atman, good morning. Flower, good morning. Morning, Al from sunny South Florida. Morning, Luke. Damien, what's up? Morning, Frank. Mohammed. Jack, what's up? Brian, what's up? Bill, good morning. How's everybody's week going so far? Throw a 1 in the chat if we're green on the week. Throw a 2 in the chat if we're red on the week. And throw a 3 in the chat if we have yet to take a trade this week. So far this week, I've yet to take any positions. I have been patient due to the lack of red folders on Monday and Tuesday. Like we are getting a handful of 1s and some 2s in there as well. Give it a couple more minutes here to see if anybody else is going to join. As we do that, we'll start to get prepared for New York Open. Hope everybody's week is going well. For the individuals that are wondering why they can't communicate in chat, it's because it's a subscriber-only chat. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like the video. If you want any more direct communication with me, the links to my Discords are shown in the description of this video. Discord is where I spend the most time. Slim, good morning, Alejandro. Good morning, Ed. Welcome to another live stream. I'm very excited to get into New York Open here. Take a look at a few things so that we're prepared for New York Open. There, mark part. All right, we have 8 minutes here before New York Open, so let's get in here and let's start to get prepared. We'll do one chart at a time. Take a look. The first thing that we have to do is understand the important times of the day. The way that we do that, going over to our economic calendar. As you can see here on our economic calendar, we have a 9:45 red folder. We have PMI coming in at 9:45. So we have to understand that 9:45 can see volatility. Red folders are liquidity injections. This is what causes volatility in the market. That is why it's an important time. That is why we need to understand when there are red folders. So 9:45 we will keep in mind heading into New York Open. I will go into daily buys next. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water. All right, now we'll dive into bias. The way that I obtain bias is understanding where price is currently located on the daily chart during the important times. So we are analyzing the daily chart right before New York Open, which is the important time. What I want to understand is price located below a swing low or in a bullish FVG? Those two locations would give me a bullish bias. Or is price located above a swing high or in a bearish FVG? That would give me a bearish bias. So the first thing that I could say about this chart is that price is currently below. Looks like this is the swing low here. Price is currently below a swing low inside of a bullish FVG. This is what generates bias for me. This provides a bullish bias for me on NQ. With that being said, we can also take a look at a correlated asset, right? ES is on the right, NQ is on the left. We can see that there is also potential for SMT here. Notice how NQ swept the swing low from Friday the 19th. Notice how ES did not sweep the low of Friday the 19th. There's potential for SMT here daily. Right, and I'm saying potential, it's not confirmed. So it's something that we will be watching. So I'm gonna leave this swing low, right? Sell side liquidity here from the daily chart on ES, so that during the time of New York Open, I will know whether that SMT is holding or not. If price runs below that, this is no longer SMT. So heading into the market, the first thing that I have to say is that NQ is below a swing low inside a bullish FVG. That provides me a bullish bias. At that same location, there is also potential for bullish SMT between NQ and ES. That is what we'll be moving forward with today. Now it's a matter of going in during the important times and executing aligned with your bias at a higher time frame point of interest. So from here, due to time frame alignment, I would move to the hourly chart. Daily is aligned with the hourly is aligned with the 5-minute. So in terms of obtaining a higher time frame point of interest, I'm going to go to the hourly chart. It looks like the daily swing low, right, is the same thing as an hourly swing low. But we are already at a higher time frame level. Nice to also see this opening gap here. The new day opening gap. Seeing that we have yet to return to this new day opening gap ever since it was created, shows that it could be used as a draw on liquidity. So New York Open is opening now, so we'll go down to an entry time frame. We understand what we're looking at because we just outlined it during the pre-market. Therefore, it just takes some discipline and some patience to now align yourself with an entry function aligned with your analysis. Let's put both ES and NQ up on the screen so we can watch both of them. Have it on the 5-minute time frame. Get ES on the 5-minute time frame. All right. Now, as we're sitting here waiting for our entry function, we are not considering other types of entry functions. I'm speaking for myself. If other traders want to use multiple different types of entry functions, that's completely fine. You, as an independent thinker, should make that decision for yourself. And that decision should be based off of prior results. If you see that you're over trading because you're trying to trade 20 different entry functions, then I'd highly suggest maybe finding some discipline in only executing one model. Me personally, I only execute the unicorn model. If you don't know what the unicorn model is by now, go to the playlist that I have on my YouTube that is titled Unicorn Model. I have outlined the entire model for everyone. And now, as we're waiting, searching for an entry function, I'll also get over to the chat. If you have any questions or comments, throw it in the chat as we're sitting here waiting for an entry. We have a 9:45 red folder, so we have time to be patient. I personally choose to execute after the red folders. For the people that are asking about the premium link is shown in the description of this video. The options for payment on the premium are shown on the WAP page. I'm going to be focusing on ES and NQ here for the individuals asking about gold. I will be focusing on ES and NQ this morning. I just finished the pre-market review. We are now dealing with live price. If you missed the process of reviewing the market, please just watch this video again as it's recorded and put on YouTube. We're now going to focus on live price action. Looks like they're taking away our SMT, right? Remember that line that I pointed to on the daily chart? They're no longer considering SMT on the daily. So we're going to take that off. Question, hi Matt, just curious if you would participate when price has given you a buy. However, the hourly market structure is yet to align with your bias. You have to understand that if you're looking to enter on a reversal, your market structure is not going to align with your bias. Think about it. A lower time frame reversal is what's going to create the higher time frame change in the state of delivery. So if you're sitting there waiting for your market structure to align with your bias, you're not going to catch the reversal. It's completely fine to not catch the reversal. I'm just pointing out the difference. If you're only looking to trade continuations, there's nothing wrong with that. Best way to learn the unicorn? Watch the unicorn model playlist that I created on YouTube. Then join the Discords that I created, because that is where I document this model every single week. So we're being patient here. We're waiting for the 9:45 news. I prefer to execute after the news drivers. I have no problem with being patient and being flat until that happens. Patience is a virtue. Why is Dixie going down along with NQ? Reason, please. Price does not have to have a reason for what it's doing. Price can and will do whatever it wants whenever it wants to. How do you use market structure to improve your trading if it's not needed to confirm a bias? I've said this multiple times, maybe just go through the content again. There are individuals that don't need confirmations to execute their bias. People that have more experience and conviction in their abilities, they are capable of creating a bias and executing on it. Confirmations are not a must-have. There are individuals that are capable of executing without confirmations. You need to look inward and figure out what works best for yourself. Are you the individual that needs a confirmation or not? Where you would find that answer is in your results. Analyze your results and see if you execute better with confirmations versus without confirmations. Can you briefly talk about examples about the stop hunt that occurred with displacement, which makes them bad stop hunts? Yes, this is actually a perfect example that's on the screen right now. Right? If you were looking at this, and I was at the beginning, as a stop hunt, right? A run below, a swing low. That is a stop hunt. The difference between a higher probability stop hunt versus a lower probability stop hunt is whether price displaces through it. Look at the displacement. This candle, when it went down to create the stop hunt, when it swept the swing low, they didn't leave a wick here. They didn't bounce here and go back higher. They clearly and decisively closed lower with displacement, presence of an FVG. This does not look like a high probability stop hunt. This looks like displacement through the low to continue heading lower. Look at the difference here. Look at this stop hunt here versus this stop hunt here. Displaced through the low, so that does not look like it wants to bounce. This one wicked the low. This looks like it wants to bounce. It did. That's the difference, whether it wicks the low or displaces through the low. Why am I not on the higher time frame? Find another area of interest. Because there's nothing on the screen to execute. It doesn't matter because I have nothing to execute. Sitting here patiently waiting because there's a news driver at 9:45, which is in 4 minutes. So I already know that I'm waiting until after the news driver. On top of that, there is no entry function shown on the screen. So I have nothing to do. I don't need to look for a higher time frame point of interest. There is nothing to execute. So it's very clear to me that I don't need to do anything. Got news coming up here in 3 minutes. Since you want to be on the higher time frame, let's go look at it. Swing low. You have a pretty far back. Yeah. Nothing here either way. We are just being patient and waiting for the news. Patience is a virtue. You have to understand that it truly only takes 1 or 2 good positions a week to change your standing. You have to have the emotional control, psychological control, mental control to understand that you don't need to be executing every single day or every single movement. Simply wait. Be patient until the justifications to your actions have been completed. Okay, we have our news driver coming up. See if it provides any volatility. The lethargic news driver. Is a reversal or a continuation higher probability? You have to realize that price can and will do whatever it wants whenever it wants to. So either one can fail. That's why we manage risk. That's why we always prioritize risk. The difference between reversals and continuations is the risk to reward. Give you a quick example since there's nothing on the screen yet. Let's think about a long opportunity. Okay. Swing high, swing low, new high, entry, right? This is a reversal. Swing high, swing low. Get a stop hunt here. Displacement through the breaker, entry. Now let's take a look. Stop hunt. Breaker block that has an FVG aligned with it. Right, so this would be a reversal here. Stop loss always goes below the breaker. We aim for 2R. Right? So look at this risk to reward versus stop hunt here. Oh. Stop hunt here. Breaker here. FVG aligned with it here. This would be a continuation. We understand reversals versus continuations simply by knowing which side of the curve the stop hunt is found on. Notice how the stop hunt is found on the left side of the curve on this one. Notice how the stop hunt is found on the right side of the curve for this one. So this one is a continuation breaker. look at the difference in the risk to reward, right? If price is all the way up here, right? Even though you're obtaining 2R here, for the reversal, this would be 3R. The difference is in the risk to reward. It is higher risk because there's less information presented here trying to execute a reversal, but higher risk comes higher reward, right? Continuation breaker, you have more information to work off of because you've seen the reversal here, you've seen the reversal play out, and now we're on the buy side of the curve. So there's more information to make your decision. That's why it's less risk or less of a reward. I personally choose as a preference to execute reversals. I have executed both of them. I'm just saying what the preference is. So a whole lot of nothing so far on the 5 minute. Look at the 1 minute. Nothing here yet. NQ is trying to get something going here. Stop hunt. Have to displace through this. Nothing to do there yet, though. Have not been confirmed. Placement through. Have an FVG here. Have not gotten displacement to break. Why we have justifications to our actions. Do not execute if all of the justifications to our actions have not been completed yet. I'm not interested in executing anything. Completely fine with sitting on the sidelines and waiting. Nothing to consider here. The confirmations to our entry function have not been complete. There is no entry function. Patience is a virtue, guys. Patience is a virtue. Question here. Unicorns can be continuations. Unicorns can be reversals. Could be both. I just explained that about 5 minutes ago. If you missed it, rewind this video and watch it again. Hi Ash. What influences you to decide to look for an entry on the 5 minute or the 1 minute? First answer is the individual has to understand what they're better at executing. If the 1 minute is too volatile for you, causes you too many emotions, and it deters you during management, then use the 5 minute and just stay on the 5 minute. So you need to look at your results to determine that. Now for me, I mainly stay on the 5 minute. The majority of my executions are on the 5 minute. There is no determining factor that makes me look at the 5 minute or the 1 minute. In front of me right now, I have 4 different screens. So I'm watching all of the time frames. There is nothing that's saying, hey, look at the 5 minute, or hey, look at the 1 minute. I am monitoring all of them. If that's information overload, then I would not suggest doing that for yourself. Just focus on one time frame alignment and stick with that. Some potential lower time frame SMT here. Potential for a higher low where ES made a lower low. I have executed the 5 minute more than the 1 minute. So I can guarantee you that there are many 5 minute entry functions. It happens all the time. When I'm looking to confirm my criteria, I'm looking for a stop hunt into a higher time frame point of interest during the opening times. I look to confirm all of the criteria to my entry function during the opening time. I'm not using information from earlier in the day, earlier in the week. I confirm all of my criteria to my model during the opening time. The 2 higher time frame points of interest that I use are swing highs and lows, or FVGs. Again, for the individuals asking about gold, I'm sorry, but I'm focusing on ES and NQ this morning. I'm a New York Open futures trader that trades NQ and ES, so I would prefer to only watch them because I'm looking for a trade. Yaro, what's up, man? Very nice to see you. Guys, I must say, for anybody that's looking for information on psychology regarding the markets, this man Yarrow has put in a phenomenal amount of work. You can find his links in the Discord. Bears remain in control so far this opening. Please notice how not changing my bias, not chasing price lower. I would much rather get the bias wrong than ever chase price. Chasing price is not acceptable, and it's not something that could be repeatable. We have to have defined justifications to our actions so that we know what is and is not a trade. We are just acting impulsively or based off of our emotions. That is not something that will be repeatable. No problem with remaining to be patient and waiting. Have to understand that there will always be another opportunity. So there isn't any reason to go against your plan, to go against your process. They are melting this thing lower so far. Again, just notice how I'm not chasing price. Be okay, but going lower. Not forcing myself upon price. MFFU code is ASH. ASH. ASH for the code. Take another sip of water. Just give me 2 seconds. All right, thank you very much. Again, we have nothing so far this morning. The bias was bullish. There has been nothing bullish. Green, so completely okay to be wrong. Even better to not have risked anything while you're wrong. Imagine being able to be wrong but not lose any money. That's something we need in this business. So we'll continue to wait. Not going to force myself upon price. Also not looking to counter trade my bias. Simply just going to remain patient. Yes, you can use the unicorn model to trade stocks. Do I make a difference between FEGs, or do you treat them all the same? Do you consider an FEG to not be important any longer? I use the most recent information. That's the first thing to understand. So I'd rather be using FEG that is more recent than a very old one. That's the first thing. Second thing is whether it is mitigated or not. Whether the FEG has already been used or not. I would rather be using something that was recently created, and I'd rather be using something that has not been mitigated yet. Ash, are you planning to teach a new setup? No, I'm very happy with my model, and I'm going to focus on my model, and that is it. You look for 2R as a target no matter what. I always aim for 2R, but I'm not greedy. So if your position goes plus 1.9R, take your profits and call it a day. Greed will kill any position. Don't be greedy. Any announcements coming soon? Good to see you, Mr. Black. I hope all is well. Yes, we do have some exciting things coming. I'm going to leave that for the date of the announcement. I'm not going to reveal any of that information yet. Drew, I've answered your question multiple times now. Not sure if you can hear me or if you need to rewatch the video. The areas for POIs that I use are swing highs and swing lows or FVGs. Did I experiment a lot with 1 to 2 RR and 1 to 3 RR? Yes, I've been working on that for the past 6 years. That is 6 years of experience. Ash, do you consider mitigated as hitting the C bill? It's either touched or it's not touched. Doesn't matter how much it was used. Mitigated versus unmitigated means it was either used or not. Can I give an example of my model? Yeah, if you go through my Twitter, I document every trade that I take on Twitter. If you go to the Discord, I document every trade in the Discord. There are also multiple execution videos shown on my YouTube. There are many examples of the model. I appreciate the kind words, Drew. My goal is to provide as much value as I can. Provide documentation to my everyday journey. I'm here working and learning with you guys every single week. I'm here documenting all of my trades every single week. It's for the purpose of providing value. If other people are capable of learning from the information, then the objective has been completed. It also gives me repetition, right? It betters my own skills. If I have to keep answering the same questions over and over again, it gives me repetition. It builds muscle memory. So it gives me practice. So I appreciate you guys, and I thank you for showing up every single week. If we continue to keep working and learning, we're going to get this skill, and it's going to be a business that could be highly beneficial for everyone. Did get a bear uni on the 5-minute. Yes. Yeah, so you are correct in saying that. You're looking at this right here. This is a continuation breaker. Okay. Sweep of a swing high, placement lower. There's just no FVG aligned with the breaker, so I wouldn't consider this a unicorn. See, there's no part of the FVG aligns with the breaker. I want the FVG to be aligned with the breaker for it to be a unicorn. So we've only gotten bearish price action so far. This is the best reason for having a bias. If you're capable of understanding exactly what you're looking for, and then you can control your actions to only execute what you're looking for, you will be trading less. You will be picking quality over quantity. You will understand the justifications to your actions. That way, it'll make it very clear what is a trade and what is not a trade, right? So to review, the pre-market analysis I provided was that I was looking for a bullish position because of where price was currently located on the daily chart. There has been no bullish unicorn this morning. So it's very, very clear to me that it's a time to be patient and wait. I'm following my model. I'm following my process. There's no opportunity given for that model yet. I'm not doing something else. I'm not looking for a different type of entry. I'm having emotional control, mental control, and understanding that less is more. We do not need to execute every single day. I haven't even executed once this week. Quality over quantity. Patience is a virtue. For daily bias, what do you do if price moves from one IRL to another IRL? For example, it moves from a BISI to a CIBI. How do you determine your bias? Bias is determined by understanding where price is currently located on the daily chart. If price is located inside of a bearish FVG on the daily chart, I would have a bearish bias. If price is located inside a bullish FVG on the daily chart, I would have a bullish bias. Ash, what is the best book on emotional trading control? You should read The Best Loser Wins by Tom Hoggard. Matt, for someone, let's say, just started to trade unicorn, learn most of what you provided, which pair would you recommend? I only look at ES and NQ. They provide more than enough opportunities. So ES and NQ. Join the Discord, but I don't see anything when I'm in there. You just have to verify yourself. There's a verify button. After you verify yourself, the entire Discord will be available. Again, for anybody that's looking for additional communication, I spend most of my time in the Discord. So go to the link in the description of this video and you'll find the links to the Discords. While you're at it, any support would be greatly appreciated. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn the notifications on, as we upload educational content every single week and we do live streams every single week. If you subscribe, you can also participate with us here in chat. You can go over any questions or information that you would like. Do I use change in the state of delivery for entries? If so, do you have an example? The unicorn model, every time you have a unicorn model, there is a change in the state of delivery. Think about it. Right? So here's a bullish example. Here's a long. You have a swing low. You have a swing high. You have a new low. You have a new high. Change in the state of delivery is the same exact thing as an order block. Order block would be found in the leg down, right? The leg down that took liquidity. So after taking liquidity, you'd see displacement higher. There would be a change in the state of delivery somewhere in here from this leg. All unicorns have changes in the state of delivery. For it to be a unicorn, the FEG has to be aligned with the breaker. If it is not a unicorn. Again, feel free to throw any questions or information in chat. I'll gladly go over them. While you're at it, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Do I only use limit orders? No, there has been times where I've market ordered into a position. What matters is that we always enter from the breaker block with a stop loss on the other side of the breaker block. No matter how you enter is up to your preference. Provided an example of a reversal versus a continuation unicorn earlier this stream. If you're looking for that information, just rewind this stream and watch it again. What do I think about bull knocks? I've never used them, so I have no opinion or information for you regarding bull knocks. I'll have to defer to somebody else that has used that firm before. Is 1010 a M5 uni, as it is the high and low, and There is no chance for there to be a uni on ES 5 minute. There is no swing high, there is no swing low, there is no stop hunt. There is potential for NQ for 10:05 candle to be a breaker. Swing low, swing high, new swing low. It would have to displace through the breaker and leave an FVG aligned with it. Has not done that yet, so there is no position on the screen yet. Did Monday and Tuesday present any setups? Yes, there was multiple setups presented both on Monday and Tuesday. Do you use weekly profiles? I take them into consideration, but they are not my top priority. Do not base my decisions around weekly profiles. I base my decisions around time. Time is the most important element. Then the next priority is bias, or otherwise known as draw on liquidity. I want to always align myself with the opening times and the news drivers, and I always want to align myself with the higher time frame draw on liquidity. Would the 1 minute be an entry function on ES? I'm not considering ES as an entry function at all. If you're talking about a bullish entry function, I am not considering there to be a bullish unicorn. Somebody would like to answer why that is? Feel free to throw it in chat. Why would I not consider ES to be a bullish unicorn right now? Looks like only a few people got it correct. We do have the institutional swing points, right? Point it out. Swing low, swing high, top hunt, new high. It is there. It is there. But look at what happened, right? So this would be the breaker block here. There's no displacement. Where's the FEG? Right, even if you want to use this FEG, there's no displacement here. Bearish candles are much stronger right now. All of this just looks like consolidation. Look at all the wicks to the top as well. There's no decisiveness in this price action for the bulls. The bulls have not shown up at all today. I want clear and decisive displacement. It should be so clear that there's no questions. You don't even have to. It's hard to miss. That's how clear it should be. The lack of displacement is why I'm not interested. And that's why I'm not pointing it out. I'm not going to sit here and put stuff on the screen that I would not use for myself. We have to learn to be patient. Every single fluctuation in price is not a trade. That's why you see that I'm not pointing things out. I'm bullish. There's no bullish entry functions yet. So I'm not going to sit here and point out bullish things just to watch them fail over and over again. That's where we pick quality over quantity. Stop trying to get into every single fluctuation of price. If it is not so clear and decisive that you can't miss it, then do not touch it. Nothing here. Stop trying to force yourself upon price. No clear displacement was the answer. There is no clear displacement. I am not interested. Patience remains a virtue. Continue to wait. New trade, window is closed. I'm guessing you're asking about the hunting hours. I only trade from New York open, so 9:30 to lunchtime. You mentioned 4 screens. I'm assuming it's ES and NQ on different time frames. That is correct. Both ES and NQ up, and I also have multiple time frames. Hey Ash, do you use midnight open? You only buy when you're below midnight, sell above midnight? I do use midnight open, but same thing as daily profile. That is not my top priority. It is information that I look at, keep it in the back of my mind during the session. It is not the top priority. There have been times where I bought above midnight. There have been times where I've sold below midnight. It is only something that creates probabilities. It is not a must-have. Why were you bullish? Please rewatch the stream. You'll see all of the market analysis. At New York Open, NQ was currently located below a swing low on the daily in a bullish FVG. Your bias was wrong today, Ash. That is correct. My bias was wrong today. Do I trade Forex? It is rare that I trade Forex. I think in my total career, I've only had 2 executions on Forex. How often do you do YouTube lives? I do YouTube lives every single week. What about YM? I'm not considering YM. Like I said, I focus on ES and NQ. Let's say a 5-minute setup happens on NQ. While you're in the position, the 1-hour FVG forms right above from the downtrend. What do you recommend then? Do we trade through because of the bias? Well, if price has something to reach for, I would be looking at, right, first of all, I need to know if you're talking about a bullish position. If you're talking about a bullish position, if there's an FVG above us, I would be using that as a draw on liquidity, something for price to reach for. Again, feel free to throw any questions or comments in the chat. If no positions present themselves here in the next half an hour or so, I'm going to call it a day. More than okay with getting the bias wrong. There will be times where you get bias correct. There will be times when you get bias wrong. That is this business. Nobody in this world has a 100% accuracy. You have to understand when you're right. You have to understand when you're wrong. When you're wrong, you have to have the emotional control, the mental intelligence to not force yourself upon price. Today was a perfect example of that. Pre-market analysis had me bullish. New York Open did not provide any bullish entry functions. So therefore, I did not force myself upon price. I've been sitting here waiting and watching and explaining to you why I'm not executing. There will be a point in time when you understand less is more. Hopefully, if you keep showing up to these live streams, you'll see that. Good morning, the Unicorn Queen. Nice to see you again. Your patience is admirable. Definitely will rewatch the stream. Thanks for the... We have to think about our long-term health in this business. And that is something that drives my patience. If you're going to burn out because you're always risking, right? You're risking every single day, multiple times a day, you're going to be left with no mental capital. And for the long-term health of this business, it's going to burn you out to the point where you might not want to keep going. Instead, why not also focus on mental health? Why not also focus on physical health? Instead of forcing yourself upon price, days like today, right? I got the bias wrong, but I'm saving mental capital because I'm not risking. I'm still learning. I'm gaining conviction because I'm here watching New York Open with you guys again. And I'm going to continue to show up every single day. But on the days where you're wrong, that does not mean you have to risk to figure out that you're wrong. On days that you don't risk doesn't mean you can't learn something from it. So every day is an opportunity. It's just a matter of different results from each day. Have I noticed a different win rate versus using a bias versus taking the first unicorn you see? Yes, 100%. Much better win rate so far this year because I've always aligned myself with bias. Green day today, 0 trades taken. However, followed my rules and didn't chase price. Big W, saved mental capital. That is exactly what we need. Very good job. Every day is a learning opportunity. We do not need to risk to do that. We need to gain more conviction. The only way you're going to gain conviction is by obtaining more experiences. Show up to the market every day. But when you show up, that does not mean you have to risk. Very good job. Sorry for the individuals that are asking about CL. I've mentioned multiple times this morning that I'm focusing on ES and NQ. How much is the unicorn win rate? The win rate for the model is going to change dependent on the operator. You are not going to have the same win rate as me. You are not going to have the same win rate as someone else because you are the one making the decision whether to execute or not. It's not the model, it's the operator. Correct. There has been nothing bullish about this morning, and that's why I said the bias was wrong, and I'm more than okay with being wrong, especially since I haven't risked anything. Ash's weekly free stream is my version of visiting a Zen garden. Ash should do a YouTube that just hits on all your best practices and advice. I would play that on repeat. I greatly appreciate the kind words. I'm here spending my time with you guys because I'm learning and working right alongside you. I'm developing this business and I am publicly journaling it. All of my documentation is shown on Twitter and on Discord. So for anybody else that wants to do their due diligence and review the information, there's years worth of this model. You can go and do your due diligence and learn from it if you'd like to. When you have a bearish bias because price is in a bearish FVG, but price consolidates in it, do you have the same bias? Yes, consolidation does not determine bias. Bias would be determined by where price is currently located on the daily chart. Whether it's consolidating or expanding does not determine how we generate bias. With saying your bias is wrong this morning, would you still take a long position if it occurs? There's really no reason to do the what ifs. I would rather just remain objective to price right? There's no reason to do hypotheticals. Instead, we should just sit here and be patient and wait to see, right? Like right now, there is no position on the screen, so there is no entry to take. That would be the answer. How many points is your average risk? The risk changes every single time. You're never going to have the same exact breaker size. I always enter from the beginning of the breaker. My stop loss is always a couple points below the breaker. The size of the breaker is never going to be the same. So that means you have to position size correctly. That means you should not be risking more to take a position. Simply just take a smaller position size. Your risk should remain the same no matter how large the breaker is. Your position size is what's going to change. Do I adjust my bias? No. I create one bias heading into the market, so I know that I'm only looking for one thing. I would rather be wrong than change my bias all the time. If you're always changing your bias, then you're never going to have conviction in your information. I would rather be wrong. Like today, you didn't see me change my bias to being bearish. Today, I was bullish. I did not change my bias. But since I was only looking for bullish positions, I did not have an execution because there was no bullish positions presented. I'd rather be wrong than flop like a fish, just consistently always changing. How much do you risk per trade? It should be less than 1% of the account size. It should be less than 1% of the account size. There should only be 1 trade a day maximum and 2 trades a week max. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it was a phenomenal morning this morning. I greatly appreciate every single one of you being here. We were able to obtain another learning experience. Phenomenal job this morning reviewing price. The patience was absolutely unmatched. The conviction in our model is why we did not lose any money today, even though the bias was wrong. Finding discipline in the justifications to your actions will keep you out of so many bad trades. I'm going to wrap up the live stream now. The closer we get to lunch, the less interested I am in participating. I'm more than okay with saying that I was wrong today because I did not risk anything. So, for me, it was another learning opportunity. If you have any other questions or want to continue this conversation, bring the conversation over to the Discord, as that's where I'm going to go next. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. If you could please, I would greatly appreciate any support. Sub to the channel, turn the notifications on. That way you can be notified for the next live stream. We also do educational content weekly as well. Thank you once again. I hope everybody has a great day.